Number 3, are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
And all the way. Now this, if you haven't been with us earlier in the day, is a magnificent event. What they've got to do, if you look at the block that's on top of the pole, their objective is to cut that into 2 from both sides, but of course you've got to get there first. So as you can see, they have springboards, and as they put them up, they've got 3 to get to the top. They put in what they call a pocket first. Now the pocket, ideally about 4 blows, leaving no chip inside, so that the toe of the springboard will sit in there firmly, so it'll take their weight and give them enough balance to make either the next pocket or the cut on the top block. So looking quite even here between Jamie Head and Jesse Whitehead. So a Kiwi and Aussie first up onto the block, both cutting pretty much blow for blow as we look at it now. Board's looking nice and stable, no droop on either of them. Now the board's sometimes a heavier board for a heavier competitor. Some like a lighter board with a bit more spring because they can use it to actually elevate the strength of the blow at the top. And you might think this might suit a lighter competitor because he might be more agile getting up, but just remember they've still got to cut the block, and some of the heavy hitters can really make good when it comes to that. So first down by a whisker is Jesse Whitehead. Jamie Head not too far behind. Looking down the far end, Quentin Fawcett, he's up on the block, but he's got about a 5 to 10 degree droop on the board, which won't be making that very comfortable as the pole moves around each time he makes a shot. So first board's in for Whitehead and also for Jamie Head, the Australian. Just saw him in action in the relay. Jesse Whitehead was cutting very well through the day. Looks like he's not making any exception here as he puts in the third pocket, the third board to go in. Boards can be made of the likes of aspen, poplar, basswood. And as I say, each competitor will choose a board that suits his style. Chris Lord making his way up, trying to get that toe to sit into that pocket well, test the board, but at the moment it's all Jesse Whitehead as Jamie Head starts on the second scarf, but he's got a little bit of work to make up to catch the man from Waiuku. And there we have it. Nice clean job, I must say, there by Jesse Whitehead. He did that very well. Pocket seemed to go well, his board sat well. Jamie Head's got good footing. And as you can imagine, you need a little bit of a head for heights because you might be looking at it on about the level from up there on the bank. But trust me, if you are way up there, it is a long way to the ground. And you have a very narrow space to put your feet to apply the power as Jamie Head makes the final drive, sends the block away there on pole number 5. So let's have a look and see how Quentin Fawcett and Chris Lord finish out in this heat. The final for this competition is on Monday. We had our first heat early this morning. Now that's a really, really difficult discipline. So give them a little bit of support. I think they need to hear you. I think they need to know that you want them to do well. So it's Quentin Fawcett on 6. Chris Lord sends his equipment down to the bottom so he can come up the other side and address that second scarf. So Chris puts in that first pocket ready to start his ascent. It's Quentin Fawcett just making the last on that second scarf. Jamie Head looks on, probably giving a little bit of advice, very good exponent of this particular discipline himself. For those of you that watch Still Timber Sports, slightly different, where they go up only one side with 2 boards and have to use a backhand slashing technique to take care of it. This time they are both on the good side, and we see a finish out there for Quentin. So Chris Lord just puts in, gets the chips Out of pocket number 2, puts the board in, puts the third board up, balances it, because he's going to have that up there so he's got access to it for this next one that he puts in. Just rests his foot on it just to keep it stable as he puts in pocket number 3 before he can address that second scarf in the block that sits on the top. Now if you've just joined us, welcome along, great to have you here late in this lovely sunny Saturday here in Rotorua. Now if you can imagine what this sport copies, if you like, is if they were cutting a tree down before chainsaws were invented. Often on a big tree, the wood at the base would be all buttressed roots, a lot of hard wood, so they'd want to be cutting further up the tree where the softer, better wood is. So the way to get up there was by putting in the springboards and working their way up to the appropriate height to cut the tree down. And that's exactly what you see here. Just a simulation of how a tree had to be felled before chainsaws were invented. So Chris Lord getting some advice there from Mick Honnock, and who else better than the sponsor of this event, can you imagine, to do this? Mick, of course, been a member of the Rotorua Club for many years, having been a past president. Great to see him here, not only officiating, convener of selectors, but also competitor today, and now he's there offering some great advice for Chris Lord. And it's a nice clean finish it is too. There we have it. That is the second heat as we head towards a world title in the 325mm tree felling championship. So a good finish for all of our competitors.